Ladies and gentlemen, we all survived the apocalypse together and we broke that shit. And now it's time for Spitball Media. Welcome. You heard it here first. We are relaunching, rebranding, moving forward, talking about fun entertainment stuff. My name is John Draper. Shah, it's official. It's Spitball Media.
Yes, sir. Having a little bit of technical difficulties, so I'm streaming on my phone. So if I sound a little different, my apologies in advance. But I don't know. It did this last night to me too. I was on a stream last night and I had to do it on my phone. So I don't know what's going on with StreamYard on my computer, but
it hates you.
I don't know. It does, clearly.
Maybe it's racist. Maybe it's racist. Maybe there's some racist
too brown
stuff there.
for it.
That's what it is. You're too brown to be held down. And of course, you know him, you love him, you want to give him a big old Spitball Media hug. Mr. B. Show Brian, it's Spitball Media.
What's up, Spitball Media? I love it. It's a new night, it's a new week, it's a new name, and it's a whole new energy. So let's get this shit on the road, and we got lots and lots of shit to talk about.
Yes, we have a ton of stuff to talk about, but we will be rebranding the names of everything. It will be falling under Spitball Media. We'll have a new graphic. We'll probably have some new intros. We'll probably fuck around with some different music and shit in the beginning. But we're just going to be spitting out the top entertainment stories every week. Isn't that right, Shah?
Yeah, man. Mostly, I would say movies, but we'll get into everything. If something happens with music, obviously we'll get into it with TV, anything
streaming
else that might be happening. What we're watching currently, some recommendations,
rumors of casting, and
fun
of course,
shit to keep you entertained.
Yeah, we're just gonna spit out a bunch of different media topics that are relevant for the week, right, B?
Absolutely, got a lot. Bayou Geeks just joined us. Evening, fellas. Evening to you too.
Oh, hello, Bayou Geeks.
Is that our buddy Fatty 316?
He sure is Fatty 316. And we're excited to talk about a lot of the topics we have tonight. Of course, there's a lot of changes happening, and we want to thank everybody. But you still want to go to that patreon.com/breaktheapp. I believe we'll end up changing that name for sure. But for just $5, that's how you get the full show, period. You're going to get a bonus show, right, Shah? That's how we're going to be doing it going forward?
Yeah, essentially, instead of extending the show out, we'll just present you with an extra 30, 40-minute show, whatever the case may be for the week. And it's not going to change. It's essentially this extension of the show. We'll just basically put it out as an extra show.
Yeah, you'll get a little extra something in your inbox. Isn't that right, B Show?
Yeah, nice little surprise. I think we figured out the way to do it, and if we can keep you guys happy, that's all that matters. So.
And of course, as we get more on a regular schedule, we're going to invite everybody to join us live. And a little program note, starting tonight, we're not going to be reading the Patreons anymore because it's more of a visual show. Watching me read for 5 minutes, it's probably not that exciting. I don't want to see it. But we'll be giving special shout outs to random Patreon members throughout the podcast. And of course, you want to go to patreon.com/breaktheapp, $5. You'll have access to the entire Break the Apocalypse catalog. And of course, Shah, all the Spitball Media stuff that's going to be there.
Yes, sir. And anything else that we do on the outside, I'll put up the stream that I did last night. Once it comes out, it should be out in the next couple of weeks, which was actually a very interesting conversation. So I recommend checking that out. It's on Mid-Level Media. So check that out.
You don't know when that's dropping?
He does a series called The World's Biggest Collectors. And I'm the 53rd person. So I think he's up to 51 episodes. So I think in 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fun. Yeah, was it a good time? You enjoy it?
Yeah, we talked about AI taking over, talked about how I got into movies, talked about me growing up and Iran and Germany and the different types of media that was available there. And, just kind of growing up and my history with collecting. Essentially.
Oh, that's fun. I'm sure they were enthralled by some of your early VHS experiences overseas.
Yeah, and I talked about how I got into collecting essentially was because I stole XPW tapes because my mom wouldn't buy it for me because it was Lizzie Borden's tits on there. So
I still have XPW DVDs somewhere in this house. I'm fairly certain I do. Bisha, did you ever get into XPW?
No, I've got into it through ECW. So after ECW ended, I checked out XPW, and there was another one at the time. I don't remember what it was.
Wrestling Society
Wrestling Society X.
MLW.
Wasn't that on
MLW, MLW, because
Okay,
it was
what-
where the guys went, like the Extreme Horsemen and all that stuff.
Yeah. Wasn't
So-
Wrestling Society X on MTV?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Or is it MTV 2? That's a while ago.
No, it was on MTV, like legit. It was like 10
Oh, wow.
o'clock. Yeah, it
Shit.
was pretty cool.
So it would go from like, this is Kurt Loder with MTV News, and then it would go to Wrestling Society X.
Yeah. Or it was like Jackass, Celebrity Deathmatch, and then Wrestling Society X.
Those were the lead-ins to Wrestling Society.
I think
X?
so. It was like that
Oh my
the kind
God.
of dude block. Yeah.
Those were big lead-ins. Those were enormous TV shows, guys. Like that.
Dude, I miss what's it called? Celebrity Deathmatch. That was fucking amazing.
Celebrity. I remember Celebrity. Hey, not that I might be misremembering the shot, but didn't Joey Numbers ref on one of those MTV shows?
Not that I can recall.
Oh, I gotta check in with him. I feel like he might have done one of them. I can't remember. It was a long
Maybe,
time
but I
ago.
can't.
I thought he did a pilot that
maybe he
aired
did a
somewhere else or
pilot.
something.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I know he definitely did something on TV outside of what he was doing for was that Big Time, but I just remember him bringing that up.
I think I've shared it on the show before, but I did a audition for MTV's Why Is She Dating Him?
Really?
And
I've never heard this.
I thought I
What?
told the story before.
No, I would.
No.
No, I've never heard this. I've
All right.
never heard
No,
this.
never, dude. You got to talk
I
now.
have to share the story.
Oh my God.
So I was in Old City, Philadelphia, which is like a fancy bar town in Philadelphia, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, and this is like years ago. So this is probably about 12 years ago. I would say
Okay.
12, 13 years ago. And this older white lady, like in her mid 40s, came up to me and she was like, "Hey, I like your look and your girlfriend. Would you guys like to be on MTV?" And I was like, I don't know what I was drunk at the time. So I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I'll be on MTV. So she gave us her cards and she was like, "Hey, I need you guys to come in and audition. We have a show called Why Is She Dating Him?" And the concept was basically that I'm a piece of shit.
Oh,
And why the fuck is my girlfriend dating me?
okay.
My girlfriend at the time had attitude issues. She was very aggressive.
But
so
it's
they
why
didn't
is she
like her.
dating him? They didn't care that she had attitude issues.
No. And basically, they liked me, and they said that they didn't want her. They only wanted me. And they were like, "Hey, we'll put you with an actress to pretend
Yeah, it's all
like she's
fake.
your
Anyway.
girlfriend."
All that shit's fake.
And she was not cool with that, so I didn't end up going through with it.
Wow.
But, yeah, she was very jealous. She was very mad. And
Wow.
yeah, I never got on there.
No,
But
I never heard this before. And they shot you and everything? You signed the waiver and all that stuff?
yeah, we went.
Oh,
to
that's
Philly,
hilarious.
Center City, we did a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know where Center City is. Many years ago in the 90s, I was with my Wall Street friends. They were a lot younger than me. I was like late 20s. They were early 20s. And we're at a bar in the Village. And MTV had similar people out asking them random questions to be on this like show. And they said, this girl comes over to me and my friends and goes, "What's the most whipped thing you've ever did for a girl?" And I just said casually, "Married her." And I sipped my drink and her eyes popped out of her head and she grabbed another person and said, "He's the one who just said that." And then they were like, "Could you say that again? Could you say that again?" And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they're like surrounding me. And now all the guys in the early 20s who are single were like, "Yo, what the fuck? This is crazy." This is a true story. I'm 27, 28, right? I still have hair. I'm maybe like 220 pounds. I'm not like that big. And I'm just dressed like in Wall Street like clothes. And then the girl was like, "I got to talk to my producer because I want to see if I can get you to say this on camera and we want you to sign a waiver." She goes, "What's your name?" And I go, "John." And she was like, "How old are you?" I go, "Oh, I'm 28. And her face dropped. It was like telling her I was 67 years old. Like it just dropped. And then she didn't want to say anything. And then the girl next to her is like, "Oh, shit." And I was like, "Why? You can't use it because I'm too old?" And I'm 28 and they don't want to use it. That was like the saddest thing ever. And I was like, "Womp, womp." And they just kind of skulked away and were talking to people like way younger. I was like, I couldn't believe that shit. It was like this quick moment where I was like, fuck, this is going to be really funny. Because I was 28 and I just got married. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was too old for MTV at 28, Bisho.
Oh man. Well, now you're too old if you're like 19 because it's all like
I don't even
young
know.
kids and pop stars and shit.
This was
16 and pregnant.
Yeah, 16 and pregnant. And then what is it? The Super Sweet 16?
Oh,
That was
those are
another
gross.
show they had. No, I remember those shows. But yeah, I was wild. Yeah, Sha, they send people out to bars to like find them to be on those shows. Like that's like a whole thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was talent scouting,
Yeah.
drunk 20-year-olds at the time.
Oh yeah, 100% for sure. So anyway, people, we got some big news this week. We're going to lead off with a sad note. Obviously, everybody knows it's been a couple of days. Legendary actor Paul Reubens, otherwise known as Pee Wee Herman, passed away after a battle with cancer. How old was he, Bisho? Was he 64?
70. He was 70.
Pee Wee was 70?
I know. I had that Tim Allen Santa Claus moment. My beard grew in gray, and I got super old for a sec. Oh, my God.
Pee Wee was 70? Maron! Apparently, he had been sick for a while. I don't remember the last time I saw him. Do either of you guys remember, like, Shad, do you remember the last time you actually saw him in any capacity? I can't remember.
I mean, not in newer stuff. Vinegar Syndrome put out a movie called Pandemonium, which is he's in there. It's a comedy. It's like a dark.
Is he in there as Paul Reubens?
Yeah, it's a slasher with Paul Reubens playing.
He's in a slasher from what year?
I don't know if you can look. It's probably from late '80s, I would assume.
But so he's well established Pee Wee Herman at that point.
No, 1982. It was before he hit.
Oh, okay, that was before he hit.
It was about the same time he did the Pee Wee Herman show for HBO.
Okay, yeah, I remember him.
It's called Pandemonium. Check it out, man. I think you'll like it.
I remember him in one of the Cheech and Chong movies. I can't remember. It wasn't the character. And then I feel like he was in something else. But
Nice Dreams. Yeah, he was in Nice Dreams as the Hamburger Man.
Oh, hamburger. Yeah, I remember.
I'm sorry, I took the money. I'm sorry.
That's right. Oh, I remember that. Holy shit!
Wasn't he in Happiness? No. He was in a sequel.
I didn't see it. I didn't see Happiness.
Yeah, he was in the sequel. He was in growing up during wartime or something like that. Growing up.
Oh, Life During Wartime.
Yeah, Life During Wartime.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like there was something else he was in. But obviously, I mean, look, Pee Wee Herman was a fucking legend. I mean, right, B-Show, there's just no getting around it. The guy was a fucking absolute legend.
Dude, that one hurt. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. And I don't know if it's because I've been going through the midlife crisis type of shit lately. But it's like, I grew up with him on Saturday morning TV. I've watched, Big Adventure 1,000 times. I used to watch the stage show and they put it on Comedy Central back in the day. Like, something about Pee Wee Herman dying. Like, a little part of my inner child just went with it. And it's sure. Like, dude, yeah. I came home from work the one day and my wife's like, what's wrong? She goes, did Pee Wee dying really affect you that much? I'm like, it's not just him dying. There's a lot that goes into it. But, I mean, I had like Pee Wee Herman pajamas when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was.
Oh my God, B-Show.
Yes. So, because I grew up watching goofy shit like that and the Blues Brothers and like listening to Weird Al Yankovic, and then I discovered like Oingo Boingo and like that music and his energy. It's like that's how I feel inside, but I can't let it out.
It's like a white middle class roadmap. What you're describing.
Exactly.
It is.
Just that one weird kid in the Midwest is just a little bit weirder than everybody else, but you got to mask it and act normal. Like.
Wow. So yeah, but also you guys are a lot young. See, I'm older than you, so I remember like you probably were too young for like when it first came out, like when Pee Wee was like Pee Wee, like you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Shah, what's your first memory of Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I bought that on VHS.
That's great.
And I didn't grow up with Pee Wee. I had no idea who he was until probably like 1998.
So Pee Wee wasn't big in Iran.
No, and neither in Germany. I had no idea what the fuck he was.
Pee Wee didn't play well in Iran or Germany.
Did you guys ever hear about the child allegations with him? How true?
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. So, yeah. but you know, my experience with Pee Wee, you know, Pee Wee's Big Adventure was such a big deal movie. It was like an event kind of movie, and it was something you rented a lot. I remember renting it constantly, memorizing the lines. I remember people doing the, tell them Large Marge sent you is still B-Show, like in the vernacular, right? I mean, spearmint or fruit when he gives the kid the gum. Like these are like this. So like what he says something with the thing with Dottie. At the end, the paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman,
you have a phone call at the front desk.
It's fucking incredible shit. That's a Tim Burton movie, and it really is very Tim Burton-esque, don't you guys think?
It was one of his first features. I think it was right after Frankenweenie, and they picked him for this.
No, Frankenweenie was after.
Was it? Okay, because I thought that's why they picked him. But
he might have done a short for Frankenweenie, but the Frankenweenie came out like 12.
Yeah, I'm talking the short as like a student film or short.
Okay. Yeah.
And Professor Tanaka's in this. Did you guys know that?
Yes, Tor Tanaka is in that.
Yeah, he's Francis's like butler bodyguard guy.
Yeah. Oh, the Alamo stuff. It was just there was so many good lines. I don't know who wrote the movie, but it's a fucking. Sha, you a fan of Big Adventure?
I'm really not, man. I never got the Pee Wee stuff. Like it didn't resonate with me at all. But shout out to Joe Punches in the chat room. He says he was also in Blow with Johnny.
He was
Depp.
phenomenal in Blow. That's not. It's the dude who directed Silence of the Lambs' nephew who died. He died a long time. He also did Beautiful Girls.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's dead. I forget what happened.
Did you guys ever see the clip of him? I think it's from his HBO show. I was just checking out some clips from him on YouTube, and one of the infamous ones is the dog scene. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but Bayou Geeks, Fatty's bringing up, and I think Joe Punch. Remember, he was on Raw. Like he did a bit on Raw as Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
On Monday Night Raw.
There's a segment that he did on his HBO show where he was going home to feed his dog, and then out of nowhere, it's like a totally normal episode, and out of nowhere, it just zooms into his dog bowl and the dog eating for like 5 minutes, and it just keeps zooming into the dog's mouth. It's just 5 minutes of a fucking
Yes.
dog eating.
Yeah, because I watched the other night. I was looking for Big Adventure, and it's not streaming anywhere. So I pulled up the Pee Wee Herman show. That had a bit with like shoe mirrors and shit. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
And here it is, because he would show like as intermission for the breakdowns to change the set and stuff, or the costumes. He would he'd show like old public service announcements from the 50s.
Yeah, I heard
like,
that.
Super ironically.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Weird Al vibe. Like they were kind of
Yes.
like these esoteric, weird, you know, like even Tiny Tim, like this weird, off-putting, you know, Andy Kaufman, but not as not as artistic. But you know, the big thing I remember was when he got caught jerking off in the porn theater, because it was fucking like people acted like this was the biggest deal ever. This was 1991, no internet. You got your news from the news, like, and you had to, I just remember people thinking he was going to be finished, like, and he was so red hot. That mugshot was on this mugshot was everywhere, guys. Like this, people made T-shirts out of this mugshot. They made like mugs out of the mugshot. He was rubbing one out in a porn theater, I guess, in Florida, which is wild to even think about now. Like, I mean, porn theaters. Like, when the fuck did that? It's unbelievable. And MTV let him on, I think, at some point later on that year, and he walked out and said, "Heard any good jokes lately?" Like that, like, because there was so many Pee Wee jokes.
It was a cold open at the VMAs, I think.
Cold open, yeah. They let him go out there, and that kind of softened the blow. You know what I mean, so to speak. And then he did end up being in Blow, which with Johnny Depp, which is a great movie, and was it Penelope Cruz? I think is in that as well. Penelope Cruz. That's a great movie. The book that it's based on is way better, like the true story and all that shit. But Sha, you seen Blow, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah. Cocaine, plenty of cocaine.
Yeah, and then he got in the Buffy movie. That's right. Joe Punches brings up
that death scene is awesome.
Kicking but
the wall.
I think he tried to be Paul Reubens, like, and less Pee Wee and more. And then of course he had a revival. Now listen, I haven't done a Pee Wee deep dive about these porn charges. I don't know how familiar, but apparently they he got his house got raided, B-show, right, in 2005.
Yeah, I kind of know the story because I heard about it about the time the new movie came out on Netflix, and I was debating whether or not to let my kids watch it. And apparently,
porn allegations. Naturally.
Yes, yeah. I just it just felt weird. Yeah. So basically, he said he was ready to be done with Pee Wee. The show ended, and then he got caught kind of in his hiatus at the theater.
Right.
So then after he comes back and he makes his resurgence. Police raid his house, apparently because he was friends with Jeffrey Jones, who was an actor in the 80s. The principal from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, you know who that is, Shah? Jeffrey Jones. This guy was a character actor. He was... I remember this now.
Yeah, so Jeffrey Jones actually got arrested for soliciting pictures from teenage boys.
Wasn't the dad from Alf possibly involved in this as well?
I don't know, but Willie, what are you doing with those pictures back there?
That's my Willie.
But because he was friends, apparently they were investigating, and they went to Reubens' house, And apparently he said he had a lot of kitschy collection shit like tchotchkes and old art books and shit. And they said they found child stuff.
Yeah.
But then when they went through it, one of the district attorneys threw it out and said there was nothing there. And then another one prosecuted late. And allegedly there was like modeling pictures of like teenage boys, and there was some other stuff that may be nude. But the thing that saved him was the guy he got the collection from. He said he collected art books and old kitschy like magazines. And even the art collector was like, dude, he bought like a crate of 10,000 different things for me. Number one, he never asked for anything obscene. And number two, there's no way he knew what he had.
So it was in there with like he bought a lot of kitsch shit, and there was fucked up shit in the kitsch shit.
Correct.
Okay, so that's probably why they didn't prosecute, because you got to figure, guys, if this was very legit and they had a case, this was a guy who already had the porn shit happen to him. I think it would have been very easy to fucking close the door on that guy if there was a case.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I mean, obviously those are all allegations and it never led to anything, but I would believe it.
Really?
Anybody that acts that childish and like almost like lives the gimmick to the fullest, like there's something wrong there, man. Like Michael Jackson was kind of the same vibe. Like he would act like a child. There's something psychological there, I think. And the fact that he was horny and got caught jerking off in a porn theater, I mean.
Yeah, JT was mentioning that other actor got work. That other actor ended up on fucking Deadwood. He was a major character on Deadwood.
Yeah, he also was in Sleepy Hollow too, years after he got caught. And he got in trouble for not registering. He was on a set somewhere, and there was kids on the show, and someone reported him because he was failing to report. Now that's Jeff Jones, not Pee Wee.
Jeff Jones. Also, Pee Wee got a part in the Batman Returns right after that with no speaking. Tim Burton he played the Penguin's dad. I don't know if he played when Danny DeVito's character, Oswald Cobblepot, he was the father. I don't think he even had a speaking part. That was the first thing.
Yeah, and funny enough, him and the actor that played, what's her name? Simone from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. That's the wife. Au revoir, Pee Wee. Au revoir.
Okay, yeah.
Au revoir, Simone. Like, it was those two got to play the mom and the dad in Batman Returns. So.
Oh, was that when Tim Burton was putting his live-in girlfriend in all of his movies, who like really couldn't act? She was like a pinup girl looking. She was in like Mars Attacks and shit.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, this is before he was with Helena Bonham Carter. He's been with her for like 20 fucking years, maybe more than that. If you look up Mars Attacks, I know Shah's a big Mars Attacks fan. She played like the actress model. She also was in the movie about the Plan 9 from Outer Space and all that shit. The Glenn or Glenda guy. The Johnny Depp played him. You know what I'm talking about. The black and white movie, Shah.
Oh,
why can't I remember the name of it? Boris Karloff is Bela Lugosi is played by what's his face? He won Academy.
Ed Wood.
Yeah, Ed Wood. Ed Wood's dope. Ed Wood's a dope movie. Pee Wee's not in that, but Shah. So you think Pee Wee might have been a Pee Wee toucher?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to put anything on a man that just died, but like, it wouldn't shock me if those allegations had some legs to it, because again, he acted like a child. Like he seemed like he wanted to be in that circle and never grow up. And again, comparing it to Michael Jackson, man, like I really think there's something to that. When you act like a kid for, decades, it almost seems like a fetish. Like that's something that you were like into. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Chris Matthews brings up, he came back. He was on Gotham playing the same character, the father of Oswald Cobblepot again. I didn't know that. And I was watching Gotham for a while. And then Joe Punches said Jeffrey Jones was the dad in Beetlejuice. Like, these were Tim Burton's guys. I mean, wow. Boy, I'll tell you, if this happened today, none of this would take place.
No. And see, the other thing too is like the Michael Jackson thing, and I'm not gonna die on this hill for Pee Wee Herman because you don't know. But like Michael Jackson kept catching those accusations for fucking 30 years after the first one. Once this happened in like the mid 90s or 98, whenever it was, when Reubens got caught again, you didn't hear anything like that ever again. Like no accusations, no weirdness, no jerking off in theaters.
I think this was 2005 that he got caught in that.
Was it? Because he was on Raw in like 2009.
2009? Wow.
When they were doing the guest host stuff in like 2009 or 2010.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those clips.
I still wouldn't charge it up to that he's probably not guilty just because he never got caught again. Because, I mean, he could have just been smarter than Michael Jackson, or his addiction to that kind of taboo thing.
Yeah,
I mean, less, controlling than Michael Jackson's.
I mean, they got that Jeffrey Jones guy. Why didn't they get Pee Wee if he was just as guilty? You know what I'm saying? Like that guy had to register as a sex offender. You know what I mean? And Pee Wee didn't. They just dropped the charge. They gave him less bullshit. They gave him bullshit charge, and it wasn't anything related to like sex offender charges.
It was like obscene material or something
material,
like that.
yeah, like obtaining obscene material and stuff like that. You know, I look, who the fuck knows? But the guy is, you know, was a generational person to so many people. I mean, he just was. Everybody had everybody. He had dolls. He had fucking the kid show. Then he had the revival of the live show, which a lot of famous people were going to that live show. Like very famous A-listers were showing up in the audience for the live show.
And you're a huge Phil Hartman fan. Did you know that they had a falling out?
No, I didn't know that actually.
So basically, Phil Hartman was one of the writers, and he was one of the ones.
Wasn't he on? Wasn't he? He was the.
No, he was Captain Carl.
Captain Carl. Okay. Phil
And
Hartman.
he and some of the other characters helped Paul Reubens prepare the show, the stage show, before they got signed. And then he said, as soon as they did the movie and they went through the television show, they were all cut out. And Hartman even helped. He's credited on the screenplay for Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and like nobody got residuals, and there was some weirdness there. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, that was a very long time ago too. I mean, who the fuck knows, honestly? You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're saying JT's saying the masturbation, that was 91. That was the porn theater. The cheese pizza thing was in 02.
Wow.
Okay, it was in 02. The cheese pizza to keep the language clean. Cloudy. But listen, it was a huge deal. I mean, I saw very famous people. I'm sure you guys saw too. Everybody was talking about Pee-wee this week, right, Shah? I mean, like,
yeah. Actually, it was funny because I went on Amazon and eBay just to check out of curiosity what his movies are selling for and what the memorabilia costs.
Oh wow!
All of his movies are completely sold out on Blu-ray, and you cannot find it. It's all going on Amazon. Best Buy is sold out. Everywhere is sold out.
Like Big Top Pee-wee, impossible to find. Like really, it's not even that good. It's
good luck. You got to go to eBay.
I can only imagine like the older copies of.
And Warner Brothers, they own Big Adventure, so they're probably gonna restore that and put it on 4K and capitalize on his death because
wow,
the Blu-ray's out of print now, so there's no way to get it. Why not just make a 4K?
Yeah. And Chris Matthews brings up Lawrence Fishburne was the cowboy on Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Cowboy Curtis, yeah.
Also, that doll that you were referring to.
The doll was a big deal.
Yeah, the one that you were referencing, that's $250 now.
I saw that doll at cons. Like you could have bought that doll at a Comic-Con for like $30.
He just died $250 now, buddy.
Oh, I can only imagine the Comic-Con shit, like the people wheeling out the Pee-wee shit at the Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guy's gonna be. Look, there was really nobody was like Pee-wee Herman, man. It's just nobody. The whole concept behind it was so weird, and it worked. It was successful. You know, there's a lot of generation of people. You guys are a lot younger than me that think that's like Bisho said. That's your childhood. You you grew up with this motherfucker, Bisho, right? Essentially.
Yeah. Like I said, I had Pee-wee PJs and watched the movies. Like I said, I grew up with a lot of weird shit. Like I listened to Weird Al Yankovic as a kid. I liked like Devo a little bit. I discovered Oingo Boingo later. Like all these weird eclectic things, and Pee-wee was definitely a part of that. So
yeah. Well, rest in peace, Pee-wee Herman. We don't know. I don't know. I hope you weren't. I really hope the accusations weren't true. But we're never gonna know now, right, Shah? Never gonna know.
He reminded me of like an unfunny version of Mr. Bean because again I'm not the biggest Pee-wee fan. Like I didn't understand the humor.
But you love Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is your Pee-wee.
Dude, Mr. Bean is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Shah loves Mr. Bean. He loves him.
Dude, he put out one season and I've watched that season probably 100 times in my life. And I'll watch it 100 more times. Like, it never gets old.
That's crazy.
Now,
if Mr. Bean gets caught with like horse porn, what are you gonna do? You gotta, like, if Mr. Bean gets caught fucking a horse, what do you think he'll do?
His mugshot's just.
I'd probably buy that shirt, honestly. That'd be a great shirt.
Like you see his dick in a can of beans just for the irony. Like, you know what I mean?
Fucking
but speaking of accusations,
bars and shit.
These are very new. The last day or two, we have to talk about it in the entertainment world. One of the biggest artists in the world right now is Lizzo. Whether you like Lizzo or not, Lizzo is
one way or the other. One of the biggest entertainers in the world.
And Lizzo, is a unique talent. Look, Lizzo is a morbidly obese, high-level flautist who went to like Carnegie Mellon to play the flute. I mean, at the highest level, who writes her own music and sings, and body empowerment, fat empowerment. These are her words. These are words other people use, not mine. And really cultivated like a culture, like of being this, like of being like this person. I mean, look, she's a very large person. She has a tremendous personality. I actually think Lizzo's very talented. I'm not going to say
Yeah, she is.
She is a very, very talented person. I don't give a fuck what people say about her as a person or her nonsense. I saw that woman sing on Tiny Desk like 4 years ago, whatever, and I was like, holy shit. And then she's a little insufferable sometimes with some of her shit, but these accusations that have come up. There's a lawsuit that's going on from some people who worked for her. I guess they were dancers, and they're pretty damning, B-Show, huh?
Yeah, and they don't go into real detail here, but I heard and read something today, which you mentioned the flutist. I just wonder what she made them do with that. But basically, they say that I think they were in Amsterdam. She pressured dancers.
These were dancers. These were her dancers.
Correct. Dancers into unwanted sexual situations, one of which was eating a banana from a sex worker's vagina.
Vagina, yeah. No, that, yeah. Yeah.
And then she ironically made statements that were veiled as comments about a dancer's weight and put people through grueling rehearsals that led to one dancer shitting or pissing themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good, Shah, huh? Doesn't look too good for Lizzo.
I don't know, man. I'm not too surprised that Lizzo's into like food porn. That's not really the biggest surprise here. And also, usually the people that bark the loudest, man, they're the ones that are the most sinful themselves. You look at David Starr, you look at fucking Joey Ryan, all these wrestlers that were super cancel culture. All of them turned out to be abusers themselves. So if you're making this your identity to cancel people and bitch and complain all day about how the world is imperfect, like you're probably doing something awful behind closed doors, and here it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, look. I like Lizzo. I think she's very talented. I'm not as familiar with the most recent album, but the first record, she's got banger songs on there. I've seen her on TV sing live. I'm not trying to have sex with her anytime soon, but I just think she's a talented singer. I don't care how she weighs. I was one of these people. I don't know if you guys know this, but I think I used to say this on Soup. I was actually kind of disappointed when Adele lost like a lot of weight because I felt like that was part of her identity. It was just like, yeah, I'm this heavy woman, but I have one of the best fucking voices in the world, and I sing some of the best love songs in the world. And go fuck yourself. You know what I mean, B-Show? Like I one of the things I actually kind of like about Lizzo, which is the thing that I think a lot of people don't like, is the fact that she's like, yeah, I'm fat, go fuck yourself. There is, I mean, there is a factor to that I kind of like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just being you in your skin. And like you mentioned about Adele, it was like she came out, that was her gimmick. And good on her. She did it to be healthy and stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
But it did kind of feel like that, like how people used to say Green Day sold out. It's like, what, you lost like 300 pounds and now you're a fucking
Adele
piece?
Is weird. I don't know about you guys. Like, skinny Adele makes me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what.
I was going to say, I'm glad you said that, because there's some people that, it's like that John Bender quote from fucking Breakfast Club. Like, some people are like become fat and some people were born to be fat. Right. And when they get really skinny, it just doesn't look right. So
yeah, like Adele looks like CGI to me like now, and it's like, and look, I think Adele is a super talent. I think Lizzo's super talent. I don't care what they weigh. We're not dating. Like, you know what I mean? We're not building a family together. I'm just listening to your music. Your appearance is meaningless to me. But Lizzo's appearance was the thing that. In other words, a lot of people, I think what was happening was Lizzo was saying a lot of dumb shit. Lizzo at one point intimated she might be eating more healthy, and then fat people got mad, so she apologized. To me, Shah, like the virtue signaling from Lizzo is my least favorite thing about this person.
Yeah, and back to what B-Show was saying, and you were kind of saying, as far as respecting her for being herself, I would have respected this years ago, not so much now when it's so much. Like, everybody's in fear of speaking out against anything. So if you feel some type of way about her looks, you're not going to say anything at all,
right?
In this day and age. So it's not really that much of a risk.
Oh, people do though, Shah. Go on the internet. People
Oh yeah,
attack
but they
Lizzo's
do
looks.
it under.
You're crazy.
Yeah, they do it under different aliases.
And she's not ugly either, but
Oh, God, no.
they go to town on her. Yeah.
Dude, this woman.
Yeah, but you
dude.
look at somebody like Divine in the 70s, like that I respect because back then,
Oh hell yeah.
you would have got the shit kicked out of you at midnight. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
the
Like
balls,
that's
balls.
a different.
The literal
That's
balls.
something I
Divine.
actually respect. You know, but
The
Lizzo,
balls of trying to be Divine in the 70s in Baltimore.
Yeah, when you look like Paul Heyman and you throw a wig and fucking smoky eye on and walk around town, that's
You better
balls,
have a good.
dude.
You better have a good right and a good solid left because you're gonna need them. You know, like that was tough. You know, like that was. I mean, my God, like, and I grew up with some of that too. Like I grew up around like not necessarily there wasn't like a lot of drag singers, but Divine when I was a kid in Brooklyn in the '80s had Native Love. This is one of the best dance songs I've ever. I still listen to Divine's dance songs now. My brother Mike listens to Divine. Like Divine was, you could not go to a block party. You had these very rigid Italian Catholic people in the early 80s screaming Divine songs. Divine would do appearances. I saw Divine do Native Love when I was like a teenager. You know what I mean? That's how fucking crazy that is. I mean, like, Divine always had that respect, but I think because it was a character. And, and I think, because it was, I don't know what it was about it, but there was something groundbreaking about it. What I think Lizzo does is, I think a lot of people, the fair criticism of Lizzo is brutally overweight. Like she's incredibly unhealthy and she acts like it's not a problem and it's dangerous. So I think that's a fair thing to say. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's very healthy to be that size. I don't know how heavy she is. I imagine she's over 300 pounds. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think so. And that's what been a big debate too. I think you were on Soup when you listened to Fat'll Do Nicely. Yeah. Remember that, the Fat Singers?
Yeah, like, Fat'll Do Nicely.
Like I keep thinking that Richard Simmons would have been like castrated today for having his workout videos and shit, like try to keep people in shape.
Right.
Because people just go to bat for that. It's like, it's healthy at any size. It's like, dude,
no,
I'm overweight and I know it's not healthy.
No,
I know every time my heart rate fucking goes up and my cheeks turn red. No. And I'm not like the level of Lizzo. So
no,
God bless her. But
you're like a half a Lizzo. Half Lizzo.
Well, like the internet, I think contributed a lot to that. I mean, TikTok, there's carnivores that only eat meat. That literally just like drink like meat grease, and they think that they'll argue with
Liver King. Don't forget Liver King.
Yeah.
Well, he's one of those. So they'll argue to death with you that this is a healthy way of life.
Rogan.
There's other ones that are extreme vegans. There's all types.
Who just died? An extreme vegan just died of being an extreme vegan.
Yeah.
You can't tell me keto is a healthy way of life to only eat bacon and cheese and like. I don't know, man. I just feel like so many different. It's almost like
I think that's the fair criticism to Lizzo should be like, listen, you're amazing, you're an apex talent, you're an incredible performer, and Lizzo's a very pretty person. She's a very pretty lady, but the reality is, if you're trying to promote other people to be your size, that's probably not a good idea, and smart people should come forward and say, let's put the brakes on it a little bit. We should accept everybody at their size, but we also shouldn't be like, look, I got friends who are in their 50s who smoke, right? Smoking literally killed my father. Smoking shrunk my father down to a fucking shriveled human being. And it was the most disturbing thing I ever had to watch in my fucking life. So when I see people in their 50s smoking, I get a little fucking ticked off about it. But I'm also not going to draw a line in the sand and be like, well, smoking at any size, smoking at any age. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, these habits are bad for you. These are bad habits. I don't care if you do them. That's your life. But I'm also not going to pat you on the back for existing just for doing them. You know what I mean, Shah?
Yeah, 100% agree, man. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I see it on Facebook all the time where, you have, I don't know how much you see this, but I'm sure B-Show has seen some of these. Women will make reels of them literally just putting on a dress and just like turning around and showing themselves.
Right.
And a lot of overweight women tend to do that, and you'll see in the comments 2 or 3 people saying like, hey, you're beautiful, but if you want to see 50, like I suggest you watch what you eat. And then you'll see 98 comments shitting on this person for saying that, hey, because realistically you're probably not going to live past 55 if you're 450 pounds. Like that's just
probably
life.
Not
Probably not.
I don't know how old is Lizzo. Lizzo's like 30. Is she even 30? She's young, right? And I know she answered the statement, but I found her answer to be a word salad, which is irony, using the word salad.
That's the only salad she's sniffed in fucking 25 years.
This is I mean, if you were going to use a salad, it should not have been a word salad. She put out a word salad. She basically didn't deny necessarily what she said. She just said, yeah, I flout my sexuality. Making people eat, like catch dildos in their mouth or bananas out of vaginas, I don't know. That's some Andrew Tate shit, don't you think, Shah? I mean, like, that's not exactly, I mean, if you're forcing people who work for you to catch bananas out of vaginas, this is like some fucking fucked up shit, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, just to go back to Divine again and include him in the talk, that's something you would have seen in like a John Waters movie, like something that's like surreal. You're just like,
yeah, but Shah, willing participants, not forcing people, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. In the movie, they would probably have, forced. I would say.
You think so?
Dude, John Waters had some messed up stuff in his movie.
Yeah, look, John Waters.
Didn't he have Divine eat shit or something in Pink Flamingos?
Yeah, that's the closing scene. That's how Pink Flamingo ends. The dog takes shit, the poodle takes shit, and fucking Divine eats it.
Flexing his butthole. Divine.
There's chicken
gives
sex.
fellatio to his son in the movie.
Divine literally blows her son in the movie.
Oh my God.
Like literally in the movie. It's in the fucking movie.
Like they actually show it too.
They show it in the movie.
Wait, Divine's real legit shoot son or in the movie son?
No.
I was gonna say we're out here being like, oh, Pee Wee maybe, but Divine's blowing her legit son.
First of all, Divine's not even a person; it's a character played by an actor. Like but I'm just saying, like but yeah, there's some fucked up shit in there. So I found Lizzo's apology. She uses the word gut wrenching again. Irony. The last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous not to be addressed. I don't know. It's going to court. And then another person came forward with some allegations that wasn't a dancer, I think, after the fact. I don't know. I think this could be a hell of a trial, B-Show. What do you think?
Oh, my God. People are going to eat it up.
Yeah.
Da-da-da. Sorry, that fell flat.
Yeah.
But look, man, again, like you said about Pee Wee and like we said about other people, allegations, we don't know.
Yeah.
And she can say whatever she wants about, being happy at any size, and that's great. And to Shah's point, people shouldn't be going on Twitter or fucking TikTok when people are trying to, like, they want to feel good about themselves. People shouldn't be going on and be like, you're fat, you're going to die.
Just ignore it. If you don't agree with it, just ignore it. You don't need to respond. I don't care if people do that. But I'm also not going to Yaz Queen. Again, look, I take it to the smoking thing. I'm like one of the only people I know that quit smoking. I swear to God. And I'm way old. I should definitely not be smoking. I'm one of the only people I know that quit smoking. If I have people like, so what, I smoke, fuck you, I'm not going to be like, yes, Queen, Marlboro Queen. I'm not going to do that because it's like, all right, but I'm also not going to chastise you either. That's your fucking decision. You got to live with it. Enjoy the ramifications of your decisions. But we'll see what happens with Lizzo. Another celebrity that kind of got in trouble this week is Stephen Amell, who this blew the fuck up. I thought this was just interesting to me, but he had to go on TMZ. It was everywhere, guys. So for people who don't know, Stephen Amell, mostly known for playing Green Arrow on the WB, but B-Show, he also was Casey Jones in the reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He was. And didn't he have, and he was pretty good in that.
He was pretty
Wasn't
good.
bad.
He was okay. Not bad.
And he also, didn't he wrestle Cody on an AEW show or something?
When there was no AEW, when it was All In, he wrestled on All In.
That's right.
And he also has a wrestling show on the Stars Network called Heels. That CM Punk is a reoccurring character. I don't know who else wrestling. AJ Lee just did a spot on there. So I like Amell. He's a big internet guy. He's like a low key Canadian dude, but he interacts with his fans a lot. He also, Digital Lizard brings up, he wrestled in WWE. Like, he's done some shit. He's done matches. He wrestled Cody as Goldust Show as Stardust.
That's right. Yeah, because he came in right before they did the stuff with who's the kicker dude, the popular podcaster, commentator from SmackDown.
It was a while ago, but he played that character on Green Arrow. There was a character.
That's right. They made Stardust a villain, didn't they?
They made him a villain on Green Arrow. So I like Green Arrow. Look, I don't dislike the guy. I'm fine with the guy. So anyway, his Heels show comes out, and we have this actor strike, which we've all been talking about. It's one of the biggest things going on in the world. And no one is allowed to do press. The union, the SAG-AFTRA union, told people. And now San Diego Comic-Con just happened a few weeks ago. Everyone was pulled. No one was there. It was no celebrities were allowed. But Amell was doing something called a Cosmic Con. I'm not that familiar with this con. And he did a meet and greet, and it was a Q&A. And it was the night of the premiere of the new season of his second season show of Heels that had just happened. And someone naturally was going to bring up this fucking strike. And he had a very sort of dopey response. And he basically said in his own words that he finds strikes to be reductive. He does, as much as I support my union, I find strikes to be reductive. And boy, did this blow the fuck up. I had just retweeted it casually. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a story. But Bisho, this became a fucking trending topic that got picked up to the point where he had to go on TMZ the next day and explain himself, Bisho.
Yeah, and the kind of shitty thing is in the explanation, he said, I'll do anything. I think he said like to the tune of, I'll do anything for my union brothers. And I'm like, well, wouldn't you strike? I mean, you do anything except strike, I guess. But like, I don't know, Seth Rollins too, for those of you who know WWE, he said a similar thing recently about, oh, this strike is a great opportunity for us because we don't have to strike. And it's like,
Yeah, I was a dick move.
You're a douchebag. But dude, he got ratioed for this. In fact, in his apology,
He
said, he goes, I really wish this wouldn't have gone public. And it's like, well, too late for that. You ain't putting that genie back in the bottle, that's for sure.
Yeah, he actually said on TMZ Shah at the end of he didn't apologize necessarily. He said he would support the union any way he could. And then he said, I really wish when we do these appearances that people wouldn't share them in public. Shah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest he doesn't shit where he eats, because now on the film set, it's going to be very awkward because a lot of actors and actresses, I'm sure, feel some type of way about him making these comments. So I don't know why he took that route, man. It's not going to benefit him in the long run. Maybe he was trying to just suck up to other companies like Disney and stuff and get some jobs out of them by him saying, like, you know, I'm essentially not going to strike. And I don't know, dude. It's probably going to backfire, though. But I forgot he did a lot of wrestling. You're right. I was still watching.
Yeah, he's a huge wrestling fan. I mean, he's a lifelong wrestling fan. He's an ill-shaped guy, too. Dude walks around in some fucking sick shape, dude.
Yeah.
That dude,
also,
Arrow, he was
that Star show, Luke Hawks, he's on there. I think he played...
Oh, Luke Hawks is on that show?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, he's on there. He's a regular.
I watched the first season. I watched it. It's okay. It's not good. It's just okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's trying very hard. Like, you know, and he clearly this is a passion for him. Look, I like the guy. Me and my brother Mike like him. Like he was like a celebrity, like we would talk about that we kind of like. He was very good with fans when he had Arrow with the cons and stuff like that. I have not watched this new season of Heels. It's only been a couple of episodes. It just, I don't know. There's something off about it to me. I can't. Who does Luke Hawks play in this? Maybe he was just not a reoccurring character. Neither one of you guys have seen it. I've seen it, obviously. I saw the first season. Oh, there he is.
No, I've never seen it, but I just know it through Luke Hawks because I'm friends with him on Facebook, so he posts a lot about it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like CM Punk plays a character on there. There's some notable people on there that you might recognize. And the guy's a huge wrestling fan, B-Show. He's a super wrestling fan.
Yeah, and he did a good job. I mean, I mentioned when Pee Wee was on the guest host shit on Monday Night Raw a while back, there was a lot of celebrities, like Jeremy Piven that showed up, and they just shit all over it.
Awful.
And WWE put up with it to get the rub. Whereas guys like him and Logan Paul, like they go out there and they legit do it and they take it seriously. So now kudos to him for that. But no, this is a really bad look for him.
Yeah. I don't know how he's going to. Now, I should also point out, before he went on TMZ and apologized, multiple co-stars from Arrow took a shit on him. The guy who played, I think, Reverse Flash took a shit on him. And then the guy, Kirk Acevedo, who's a character actor, he was on a whole bunch of TV shows. He was from Oz. He said, this fucking guy. I mean, these are people that worked with him on his own show, Shah. They were already taking a shit on him.
Yeah, I can't believe he actually said that. But yo, Babs Bunny or Bad Bunny or whatever his name is.
Bad Bunny.
Babs Bunny, Babs and
Bunny.
Buster from fucking Tiny Toons.
Think of a couple of differences between Bad Bunny and Babs Bunny. Just a couple.
I don't know, man. He's got like a drag queen name. It's a weird name.
It's a weird
Yeah.
name. I don't get the name,
weird.
but he's a very talented guy. But.
Sounds like a stage name. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like a performance way that he does. I mean in a different way.
Yeah, it's a weird name.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. I remember him from Raw also. But yeah, those are some of the guys that actually like put in the work and respected the art of wrestling. And
oh yeah,
you know,
I mean they're
trained
lifelong fans. Yeah, Bad Bunny
Yeah.
was a lifelong fan.
well, I know he was, but I don't know if this Arrow guy was.
Oh no, he 100% was. He
Was he?
wrestled on the All In pay-per-view before there was even an AEW. He wrestled on that, and then he wrestled on W. I mean, he's wrestled for both AEW and WWE guys.
Well, I just assumed that was due to his connection with Cody because he was like
Yeah.
personal real life friends with him. So
Oh yeah, no, it was his relationship with Cody. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm curious to see what happens now with this guy because I have to tell you, I mean, I'm not going to mention too much, but I have a good friend. My brother Mike and I have a friend. She's a girl we grew up with the hardcore scene. Her and her husband, we've known them for like 30 years. She's a stunt woman. She's been in some of the biggest movies. Like she's been in big movies. She's been a stunt double for very famous people. She has a very famous scene in Zombieland. One of the opening scenes in Zombieland. She is the woman that goes through the windshield. That's a friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she's done a lot more than that. And she, not that long ago, she had a baby later in life. She had a son later in life. She is on the fucking picket line in New York with her son in a stroller every fucking day. Every day I see her on the picket line on social media pushing her son in a goddamn stroller. This is a woman in her 40s who goes through windshields for a living. Okay? Who doesn't have the luxury of going to Comic-Con and talking about the strike abjectly. She literally is now not making any money. Okay? And me and my brother Mike have literally known her for 30 years. Okay, since she was a teenager. And she's been a stunt woman for about 20 of those years. And she's still with her 4-year-old in a stroller, pushing him in the heat, in the rain, with a sign, every day in her SAG-AFTRA shirt. I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking about our friend Jessica. I'm thinking about a lot of the people who work as gaffers. I'm thinking about these motherfuckers. I mean, like, you know, yeah, of course, it's nice to see Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller, and that's very, very cool. And, you know, I don't know how much they're spending time on the line. But, you know, for Stephen Amell, who, you know, is a very interactive guy, who's very personable with his fans and very approachable at cons. And I remember, I don't know if my brother Mike remembers this, but there was a bunch of years ago, he lowered his cost at signings because people complained, I think, something like that. I could be off. Might have been New York. It could have been something else. To see this guy sitting there very smugly on a panel, which, by the way, he wasn't supposed to be on. You're not supposed to be doing this shit. Now, I'll point out something else. I just found this out tonight. The guy who plays Shazam, Zachary Levi, showed up at a con and basically inferred a very similar thing that Stephen Amell just did. This was breaking a little while ago. He literally got on stage and said, I don't know why I'm here. I'm not allowed to talk about the movie where I play a superhero, and I'm not allowed to talk about the cartoon that I'm in, and I'm not allowed. And it's like he's being tongue-in-cheek, and it's like, yo, motherfucker, why are you there? Like, I get it. Like, he was basically making a joke that he's not allowed to be there. Because the union rules are you are not allowed to promote your work while the work stoppage is happening. No one is breaking this. Like, Shad, did we bring up the A24 thing, why A24 was allowed to film?
I think we briefly brought it up, but we kind of skimmed over it. Well, I mean, that's a super respectable move on their part.
Right. Yeah. They asked the union, what do we have to do? They're the only company, right? Yeah. A24 went to SAG-AFTRA and said, if we want to continue to shoot, what do we need to do? And they laid out the ground rules for them, and they said, okay. And SAG-AFTRA said, keep shooting. No other studio is shooting. Nobody's shooting. Everything is done. Nothing is fucking happening. Everything is shut down.
Next year, everything's going to be A24. It's just going to be...
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, it can be done. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, it can be done. Now, we should point out, tomorrow is a meeting. But Fran Drescher, the nanny herself, said publicly they have 6 months worth of funds now, mostly because of donations from the high A-listers, that they think they could sit out 6 months. Bisho, do you think that's possible? Because that's a big fucking deal.
You sent us the article yesterday, I think it was, there was like 10 or 15 big names that donated over $1 million.
Oprah, Affleck, Matt Damon, maybe Tom Cruise.
So The Rock,
Wow.
George Clooney, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman, Meryl Streep, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, Julia Roberts, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Oprah.
Wow.
I mean,
this is the A-list.
That's a lot.
And every one of them donated $1 million, correct? That's
yes.
what it was. Yeah, it was over $1 million or over $1 million. They're not fucking around, Shah. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I feel like this could be a long-term thing.
Yeah, and I wasn't joking when I was saying the A24 thing, because if they're the only ones shooting, I'd imagine they're probably going to take advantage of it and try to keep as many people employed, and they're probably going to pump out like 20 movies next year or something.
Well, the delays are all official. Everyone's delaying. Things are delayed, because certain things needed to be their reshoots or the finishes or stuff like that. And I don't know if I don't see anybody crossing this picket line, Bisho. Do you? I think this is going to be a firm no.
Yeah, because the AI thing affects so much. And I think that was a linchpin. Like, if you just had, like, the Writers Guild, or if you just had, like, the electrical workers or the contractors, like, that wouldn't have
remember when
flown.
it was the writers, nobody gave a fuck. Let's be honest, guys. Nobody gave a fuck when it was the writers.
I'm still seeing posts on YouTube about, like, why would we want you to have better pay if this is the shit you churn out every year? But it's not all their fault, Yeah. And it's bigger than that. As you mentioned, and as Joe Punches brings up, I know we were going to get to this at some point, but he mentioned Disney copied the extras from Doctor Strange 2 without their knowledge.
It wasn't from Doctor Strange 2.
WandaVision.
It was all the extras in WandaVision. This is some scummy fucking shit. So basically, these extras in WandaVision who didn't even have speaking parts, who were who were shot, they AI'd all of their fucking likenesses to use them in perpetuity. So then they could just use crowd shots, make AI crowd shots in other Marvel projects, Shah. I mean, I've never heard of this shit before now, honestly.
And that's why it's a gray area with the AI stuff, man, because, same thing with Midjourney. We were talking about this last week, where it kind of takes other people's art and makes it as one, and it's a gray area. But yeah, that's super shitty if they're just taking people's likeness and using it later on for other movies. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they're fighting for. And I think, look, I'm a class warfare person to the day I die. I think everything in this country is about class. You're either rich or you're left to die. There's no in between. You're either rich or you're poor. But the reality is, the people who are most affected by this are people like me and my brother Mike's friend, are people like, our other friends who work in things like props or catering. Catering. The people who do craft services can't work. And they serve food, B-Show. They can't fucking work.
Yeah, and kudos to the Screen Actors Guild, because there's been a lot of high-profile people that have come out and verbally said, hey, this isn't about us. This is about the craft service. This is about the gaffers union. This is about the carpenters and the whoever. But, like, it's just, I'm glad that they stuck together and they joined, because if you guys remember, in, like, 86, Jesse Ventura tried to unionize, and Hulk Hogan shut that shit down because he was the top guy and he didn't want to be affected.
For him, brother. It wasn't going to work for him, brother.
That was the first time he used that, I guess.
Do you think how about a wrestling strike? I don't know. I don't see it happening.
No, but no. We've talked about that before. It's because wrestling's a cult and too many people buy in and everyone wants the top spot.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Also in wrestling, too many of them are still fans of their own craft. It's weird, man. A lot of them are marks for the business and they never separate the fandom. Especially the indie guys. A lot of the people that are on AEW, I guarantee you, they would never go on strike because they're living their dream. They'll do it for $20,000 a year if possible. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the brotherhood that people think it is. I guess that's the most.
No, it's all a facade.
It's all a facade. But yeah, let's see how this plays out. I mean, I find this AI thing, I'm late to the table, but I'm very interested in what happens with AI. I really, really am. Recently the Secret Invasion TV show for Disney, which is the lowest performing Marvel MCU property to this day, and it cost $220 million. The intro they used was AI created. They made an AI intro, and they touted this as like a bragging rights thing. This was like right before the strike, before the writers were already on strike. I'm sure they rule the day they fucking said this, but people saw that, they were like, they were throwing up in their own mouth, like they really weren't that into it. But before we head up to the bonus show and wrap up the free portion, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit because it's a very topical thing. Last weekend, I went and saw probably one of the more talked about horror movies, maybe of the year, at least so far. This is the Australian import Talk To Me. This is an A24 distributed movie made by, I guess, YouTube backyard wrestling guys. I still don't know. I haven't done a deep dive on these guys. Shot educated me on these people. But they released a feature for about 4 or 5 million. And it was so well received. It made its money back in the first day or two in the States. And it's now up to, I think, 15 million. And it's a $4 million budget or $5 million budget. I saw the movie. I thought it was fucking tremendous. I was blown. I texted these guys. I called my brother Mike from the car. It's like, just so you know, this is going to be one of the bigger films of the year. I don't want to fuck with you guys with the movie. I really don't want to give away too much of the movie. It's a $4 million budget. What do we know? What is that, a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes, Bisho? 97?
Yeah, 97. $4.5 million budget. It already made 4.2 million.
No, it's way more than that now. It's about.
Is it?
Yeah, if you look it up, I think across, because it also opened overseas. I think it's at 10.
International, gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's at like 10.5. This is a fucking tremendous movie, guys. I will say this. I like the way it was shot. I love the score. All the kids in the movie, I say kids because they're a lot younger than me. Fantastic acting. I recognize 2 people from this. One I didn't realize at the time is a young girl from a TV show out of New Zealand called Wentworth, which is very popular on Netflix. And the other one is the woman who plays the mother, who's been in a ton of movies. When you see this woman, you can be like, I've seen this woman in 400 movies. But, you know, the main characters in the story, it focuses around 2 or 3 main people. The one girl obviously being the primary character. You've seen her in it. This is the practical special effects. I love the fucking ending is phenomenal. And Shah, it's an hour and 30 minutes. Your favorite.
Yeah, this seems like the perfect recipe for a great horror movie. I mean, it's short. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. I mean, I've yet to see it. I'm seeing it this weekend. But this is probably going to be a movie of the year for me, which is a sleeper, because when I saw the trailer, it didn't really grasp me, because I was just like, yo, like, this looks like a possession movie. And don't spoil anything, but it...
Oh, Shah, you're breaking up there, buddy.
The demon's mad at Shah because he's talking shit.
Yeah,
about
Shah, I think you're getting possessed.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you're getting possessed. I'm sorry, you cut out. We couldn't hear any of that. Oh, maybe he's going to log back on. Okay, Shah's having some problems. Bisho, your interest in this is pretty high, I take it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it. It's a severed hand that's possessed and ends up going out of control and taking over people.
Yeah,
like, what's not to love about that?
Well, no, basically, it's the hand of a psychic that's been mummified, and because it's a mummified psychic's hand that's been sold on the internet. What I like about this movie is it's actually about youth culture being fucked up on the internet. That's really at the heart of. I'm serious. Like you have to see it to understand it. But these kids are using this and getting possessed and fucking putting it on YouTube.
Much like the TikTok challenges with drinking cinnamon and shit like that.
Yeah, that's really at the backdrop of this. So that's one of the things I really liked about it, was that it's, you know, it's very Simpsons Treehouse chess challenge. It's a monkey's paw, but it's not considered a monkey's paw. Is Shah back?
I don't see him yet.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up and get the bonus show ready for the Patreon people. But if you have an opportunity to see it in the theater, I would highly recommend it, because it's a fun movie experience. Again, the cinematography, the performances, the blood. Oh, B-show, the practical effects with the blood, man. Oh,
It does come anywhere near the new Evil Dead?
A little bit, yeah.
Does it? Awesome.
There's one scene that I just wanted it to end. I was like, when this is gonna stop? Like it's self-mutilation, kind of like in that Evil Dead vibe. But I highly, highly recommend it. At this point, I will say, if it's not my number one, it's my number two, because I really love Infinity Pool, and it's such a fucked up movie. But that, like, to me, like, I'm ping-ponging with that. I don't know that I'm going to see, if I see a better horror film this year, it's going to be blow my mind, because this is a pretty perfect film, and I feel like this is a franchise. I feel like this could very easily be franchised. I don't know if that's the desire of the people who did it, but it's already, I think it might be close to 15 mil global. So, you know, Bisho, you want to add them?
There's 2 Planet Mondos. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm supposed to add.
The one with that graphic.
There's 2.
Oh.
Is that the right one, Shah?
Let's see. Sorry, we lost Shah there for a second, people.
Yeah,
Oh, you there?
So Shah's back. So, Shah, you'll be checking it out this weekend. I'm sure we'll have a little bit more of an involved conversation next week, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to see it Saturday night.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to you about it. It's just good.
Dude, I'm super hyped for it because I wasn't that excited, but I've heard nothing but amazing things so far. Like every horror group that I'm in, every forum, everyone's legit. Talking about it.
It's legit. The first thing I did, I got in the car and I called my brother Mike, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, the hype is real. Like it's very different." I really, dude, the opening 5 minutes. What the fuck? Like I can't. It's too much. You're going to love it. The practical special effects and everything. But we're going to wrap up here, people. And by the way, Joe Punch has brought this up. I want to bring this up, too. Not only did Super Mario drop on Peacock today, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 dropped on Disney Plus yesterday. So these are the two of the biggest grossing films of the year that you could watch that are both fun. I recommend both of them. They're probably 2 of my favorite movies of the year for sure outside of that genre. But we're gonna be heading over to the free. We're wrapping up the free portion, and I just want to give some plugs. First of all, I want to thank all the Patreons for their support. Periodically, we're going to just randomly thank some random Patreon people going forward. Again, we're not going to be thanking the Patreons. We're going to try to give you more content, especially now it's more of a video show. But let's plug Deathmatch Outlaws and the Drew Yari Show and the Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube and the Down Under Thundercast and Don Tony and, of course, Necromaniacs podcast, the Inhuman Experience podcast. We also have Mojo and Dirk's most dastardly show, The Garden of Doom. We also have Off the Mat and the Old Guy Metalcast. And, of course, Ronald Anderson, funkbetty.com. You got to get some clothes from there. And, of course, MJW Games and Cherry Jesus on YouTube and his band Kaiser. He's putting out music all the time. Like our good friend Sam at the Red River Podcast and his band Playing Dead. And we have the Bayou Geeks, that's Fatty316, and the High Marks Podcast, and the Midnight Mass Creature Cast, the Weekly Detour with Anthony Alston and Teddy, and the Guns and Geeks Podcast. Shah, what's going on in Planet Mondo this week?
I should have some new content this week, but I did a video with Mid-Level Media last night about how I got started in collecting. So that should be up in the next couple of weeks. I'll post that link on Patreon, but of course it's free on YouTube, so you can check it out for yourself. But yeah, check me out on Instagram, planet.mondo. And if you want any commissions, I'm open to commissions. Hit me up.
Yeah, you put out some bangers this week, man. That Annihilation piece and the Infinity Pool piece.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man.
Ridiculous. B-Show, what do you got going on?
Not a thing right now. Just subscribe to bshowbrian.com. I was thinking about doing a longer form video that I haven't done in a while, but I've been really fucking maxed out at work lately.
B stands for busy.
Yeah, I know. I say that every week. So just... Just go to bshowbrian.com, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. When I finally put something up, you'll be notified. So thank you.
And, listen,
and thank everybody in the chat, too. JT, Joe Punches.
Yeah.
Digital Lizard showed
Chris
up.
Matthews.
Roxy, excuse me.
Oh, what's up, Roxy? I didn't know Roxy was
there.
Roxanne
showed up.
Excellent.
To hear about the Lizzo stuff.
Oh,
Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
I don't know, Fatty316 showed up early on and had to dip out.
Yeah, and by the way, these are all of our friends in Patreon, so we want to thank them as well. But we're going to get to your Patreon show, your bonus show. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about there. And guys, we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff here on Spitball Media. Thank you so much for checking us out. All hail the apocalypse. Welcome to Spitball Media.